Hel-
Hey, your mic's off.
Welcome to another episode of What's Really. Ooh, again?
Oh, there we go. There we go. You're back.
Stupid technical difficulties. Well, welcome to another episode of What's Really Going On in America. And, well, Quinn here.
Johnny here. Pardon my voice.
And, and tonight, we're doing part two about poisons that's in our hygiene products. And I want to show a quick clip of kind of what we're going to go through, only not as drastic as this clip, to one of my favorite movies.
All this.
The police have got it wrong. They're looking for one product. The Joker's tainted hundreds of chemicals at the source.
And whole shipments of products would be poisoned. Would all be dead.
No. The poison only works when the components are mixed. Hairspray won't do it alone, but hairspray mixed with lipstick and perfume will be toxic and untraceable.
How did you figure this out?
Take that to the press.
That's the best Batman, by the way. That they could have just stopped there.
Yeah, they probably could have. But that scene, after going through a lot of ingredients and scanning nearly every hygiene product in the supermarkets, yeah, it's pretty much like that scene. The only difference is you're not going to die right away. They kill you slowly but surely with a
It's like
bunch
being
of
married.
Exactly. And let's see, which product should I that I should do first? Let's see. No. Okay. We'll start with the Old Spice. Yeah. 0 out of 100. This is from the Yuki app, which I highly recommend people to get.
Crap. I actually have that in my closet upstairs. Shit.
Oh yeah.
But
And you're
but Quinn, it smells so good. I go out and people say, "Oh, you smell so nice." I'm like, "Thank you. I took a shower."
Yes, I took a shower and put a lot of poison that's probably going into my bloodstream somehow through the skin. Who knows?
I mean, we did talk about it before. Like, I love junk food. I smoke like a chimney and I drink like a fish. So, like, but I know cigarettes are going to kill me. I know the booze is bad for my liver. I mean, I go into it knowing that, which, fun fact, they played a clip on my way home tonight of RFK Jr. saying, look, we're not trying to say you can't have certain foods and whatnot. Like, we just want you to be aware of what's in it and what the side effects are. So, why can we do Pepsi, which is the example that they had used in Europe, with none of this crap that's going to kill you, but we can't do it here? Oh, that's right. We allow the companies to cheap out for the chemicals that will, I don't know, effing kill you.
And we're gonna start with one of those chemicals. And can you even pronounce that word?
No. We've been over this. I went to public school. Okay, a public school that could not spell its own name right on the diploma. One of these nights, I'll pull it off the wall and I'll have it here and I'll show everybody like that. The name of the school is literally freaking spelled wrong. It's so anytime I do something dumb, it's their fault. Way to go,
Well,
Department of Education.
we'll talk about the Department of Indoctrination next week,
Oh,
unless if we
please.
get our guest on, for
I
sure.
am always ready. Like you text me tomorrow at noon. I will like go cell phone live if I have to talk shit on them.
But yeah, so this big old long word that no one in the world can pronounce except for the person who made it
Let's just
is a
refer to it as the big freaking word. From now on, it's
yeah,
just the big freaking word.
is a preservative used to prevent the growth of microorganisms in cosmetics. It was notably used to replace parabens after the risks were highlighted. This compound is highly allergenic and severely irritating to the skin, eyes, and respiratory tract. For this reason, its use has been banned from leave-on products in the European Union, Australia, and Canada, and limited to a maximum concentrated of 0.0015% in rinse-off product. In other countries, such as the USA, it can be found in a whole variety of products. In addition, it is very toxic to aquatic life, according to several agencies. Eh, For an example, it significantly alters the growth of algae and unicellular organisms, the foundation of the entire marine food chain. Marine food chain. Is that
Well,
like
luckily for us, we are not seaweeds. And then also like irritating to the skin. Now, Quinn, I know that you're not an expert on this, but cosmetics go on the freaking skin. That's where that's where you put them, on your skin. You put them around your eye face. You put them on, everywhere. Your freaking skin. So, all right. So, how about this? I'm gonna go rub my arm raw with some sandpaper, okay? And I'm gonna make up a little cayenne pepper paste, if you will, and I'm gonna rub it in there because you know what? It makes my skin look like the complexion that I would really like to have. But holy crap, does it burn? I'm probably not going to do that. But that, well, I mean, oh god, I could go off on it for a freaking hour on like the bullshit beauty standards we have in this country and the crap women put themselves through to fit the normal stereotype. And yeah, who would have thought a cosmetic has an ingredient that irritates your skin? I wonder, is that to sell a different cosmetic to take care of the irritation of the skin?
honestly?
Yeah, I know. You don't have your tinfoil on right now. You weren't ready for that shit. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. Yeah, honestly, I think they put. Of course, they want to make it as cheap as possible because it's all about money with these companies. But at the same time, um, I I think like okay. I will admit there are some soaps that actually get to my skin, but there are certain soaps that actually rate 100 out of 100, which is usually Dr. Scholl's or something like that, which is very expensive, by the way. But that bottle that I posted is about $8, $9 for that big thing. The soap I get that's 100 out of 100, I can for $8 to $9, it's like about 8 ounces.
Yeah, I actually get those same bottles on sale. They're usually like 2 for 12, 2 for 10. Um, and like I said, they do smell good. I'm not gonna lie, they smell amazing. They lather well. Um, I I I have not had any adverse effects to it. But then again, I also painted cars for a decade, so I've had like all kinds of other wonderful chemicals just invade my body. Which is why I am now a soft hand office bitch.
Mm. And then here's the other long one. It's not as long, but it looks similar.
Oh, this will be the almost as long freaking word.
Yeah. So it's a preservative that was used as a replacement for parabens after studies suggested that they were harmful to human health. This compound is highly allergenic and severely irritating to the skin's eyes, respiratory tract. So basically, it has the same thing. Several studies also shown that it causes neurotoxicity in rats. Boy, that's encouraging.
Send it
And
to
then
send it to Congress. I want to see them irritated.
all we got to do for Congress is tell them we want to prosper, and they will be irritated. We don't need to send them soap for that. mm. But
I still would love to see them wear their corporate sponsors like a NASCAR uniform. Like that. I don't even care if they're sponsored by people I dislike. I just want to see them walk out there with their tracksuit on, and it's all sponsored up, Vanguard and State Street and all these other jerk offs that, shouldn't exist.
all that should be. I think all that is public records, and we can get it. But they should. But they should make it fully transparent right on the websites where we don't have to FOIA request these things
Yeah, because,
indefinitely.
we've all seen release of any sort of government document, and like it, even in something as simple as, are unicorns real? There'll be something redacted. Like, dude, I'm asking about a unicorn. What is there to redact from this? Like, why are there black lines on a thing that obviously does not exist? Or do unicorns exist?
Hmm.
I want
Well,
one. If they do, I want one as a pet.
well, you know what? They definitely. Well, this is another reason why Trump should defund the FDA and USDA, because I am very sure that they're getting corporate sponsors to say, hey, you scratch my back, I scratch yours. We'll make more money, we'll give it to you. And then you'll have your elections.
Well, and again, we've talked about this because they donate through their the lobbyists and everything to politicians. The politicians then take that knowledge, that wording, and then they pass it on to the FDA, the USDA, and it's all an effort to make them money in some way, shape, or form. So again, you and I are very pro capitalism, but we can also see the flaws in it, because if the people who are doing the actual regulation are influenced by money, and then you give them money, chances are they're going to do what you ask them to. They're treating it like a job. It's no different than Quinn, I need this project done. I'm going to give you money, and then you go do it. And so then when it comes down to the actual agency itself, those are the unelected people. Those are the people who are very motivated by money. Where hey, if we can somehow make the numbers work and get this drug legalized, there's a promotion in it for you, chief. And guess what happens? People get influenced. We saw it during the coof bullshit where all of these doctors came out against it, but they were going against the grain. Well, guess what? They weren't getting the funding to say the right thing, or they said, no matter what you give me, I'm going to say this. I'm going to say what my studies have found. It freaking sucks. Like, we're all screwed.
Well, let's move on to oral hygiene. You think your toothpaste is there to help you.
Turning the frogs gay.
Look at that. Optic Optic White Pro Series whitening toothpaste. Ooh, this is supposed to sound good. Like, it's amazing. It's a Pro Series whitening toothpaste. But guess who it benefits? Not just the company, not just Colgate, but it benefits the dentist too.
Are you trying to say that these companies agree that there is no money in a cure?
Exactly. There is no money to be made in healthy teeth, and unhealthy teeth makes them wow, yeah. The teeth that are the teeth without good health makes them great wealth.
Well,
And
look at the things that aren't covered under health insurance. If you're in a position where you're lucky enough to have it, your teeth are extra, your eyeballs are extra.
Yep.
So I need teeth to eat. I need eyeballs to see, to function. Why are those not as important as the other stuff? Like, why is that extra $30 or $40? I don't even know what that crap costs anymore. Honestly, it's gotten to the point where it's cheaper to pay it out of pocket.
Yeah, basically. And here's the high risk. BHT. And what is it? It stands for butylated hydrotoluene. Okay, I can't pronounce that, but if you can't pronounce it, it's usually pretty bad. It's a compound used in cosmetics for its antioxidant function. It has shown potential endocrine disrupting effects, particularly on thyroid function. It may also have effects on the sex hormones and may affect fertility and development. It may also be found in the placenta and in breast milk. All of these factors have prompted the European Chemicals Agency to request further studies and to conduct an upcoming assessment of these effects. The ECHA has also reported toxicity to the liver, kidneys, lungs, and blood in rats, but at high dosage. But some cases of allergies and irritation has also been found, but these are relatively rare, it says. From the environmental perspective, this ingredient may be very toxic to marine life at very low levels. Effects may have been observed in all species and organisms of the aquatic food chain, including fish, invertebrates, and algae. It also highly persistent in soils and sediments. Well, How about that? So if this stuff gets put in the ocean and the fish somehow gets some of this toothpaste in it, and then we go fishing, and well, fishermen go out, catch these fish. Eh, wow, we could end up eating this stuff.
So there's a couple of things that I took away from that. Um, One, obviously, like some dirty hippie wrote this because we have to save the marine animals. Well, all right, but further up, it was talking about how it's affecting birth rate and fertility and things like that. Like, all right, well, is that part of the reason why we have a falling birth rate, not only in this country but worldwide? For months we've been talking about it being an economic thing or a personal choice, where I just don't want kids, so I'm not going to do anything to put myself in a position to have them. But there are a lot of people, they physically cannot have children, and if a couple's lucky enough to get pregnant, I've been hearing about miscarriages and people losing their baby way more in the last 4 or 5 years than I have ever before. And I'm not saying like, I read a news article that said, birth rates are down and this is up. And no, I mean people I personally know or indirectly know through an individual that I interact with on a daily basis. So is this crap part of it? I mean, I had some thoughts about a certain thing that was introduced in early 2021, and kind of like how they went on a. I know you're very anti-abortion, but it just seemed like they went extra hard on it this election cycle, and for the last couple of years. Does it have something to do with the fact that we're not producing children at a sustainable rate? Now, is it for war? Is it for taxes? Is it because we royally effed up and people just physically cannot have children? Outside of all the outside things like, economics, whatever. So I look at that and it's like, it's just kind of like, okay, we're going to put a little tally in that column again because here we go. We have all this outside influence of why we may or may not be having children at the rate that we used to.
Well, I'll say this. I think the government doesn't want us to have kids or have families. I don't know what the threat is on that. Maybe maybe a strong family with strong family values threatens their position. And what they want is to have less citizens and more government. That way they can control us better.
Yeah, I mean, I you know me. I'm not a very trusting person when it comes to the government, and I just look at every single reason that they could be trying to screw us over in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah, because take a look at it. I mean, they push abortions, especially on the black community. Over 80% of the abortion clinics are in those communities strategically. Take a look at Uvalde, the school shooting. The cops had a clear chance to shoot the shooter before anyone else died. And the best we seen was one of the cops hand sanitizes uses a hand sanitizer on camera while before he left, while kids are scared for their lives in vain. And the cops, what do the cops do? They just sit outside and arrest the parents for wanting to take better action than the cops. Which I think if the parents would have been able to get in and the cops never showed up, I think more kids would have had their lives saved. And now we got chemicals that could prevent pregnancies and stop pregnancies, still commit more stillbirths, fertility attacks of all kinds. It's like it's really a war against families because if there was more, when there's more citizens than the government, we still have that gives us power, and that's the power they want to take away from us.
I like that you brought up Uvalde because it just goes back to I had a really good thought there. It's it just goes back to my lack of trust with government because every time one of these tragedies happen, you always have some spokesperson from some federal government agency, and they say the same thing. They were on the radar. So, you know me, I try to not do like the hey, lefty moron leftist, like you want all these laws passed, red flags and all that stuff, and you want all this government oversight. You want every Facebook comment looked into. You want all these things. But yet, how is it that
Mm,
every time these people are on the radar? This is why I support, the Doge program because the, you it you have a problem. Obviously, if somebody is on your radar, and yet they still go out there and commit a crime, or they do something that they were allegedly being monitored for. Why was it allowed to happen? Or was it allowed to happen on purpose? Like, not to sound all Alex Jones, like, oh, yeah, it was all a hoax, a red flag event. Love the guy or hate the guy, he's been right about a lot of things. And, I it just it rubs me the wrong way when you say there's a problem. You clearly laid out why it's a problem, but yet you do nothing to fix the problem. Um, your car's overheating. You know what we should do? Let's just put the pedal to the metal and just run it till it blows up. Like we know what's gonna happen. Or just maybe, we could pull off to the side of the road and find out what's going on with it. No, let's just let this shit blow up and then, blame somebody else. Like my Subaru blows up because Toyota's jealous that more Subarus are sold or some jack shit like that.
mm. Yeah, and I'm glad you brought up. We can either, eh, you know, sit around and wait for something to happen, basically, or while things get worse, or we can actually take action and prevent bad things from happening. And it seems to me that a lot more people are very comfortable. Like, you got the leftists who agree with everything Democrats say, no matter what, no questions asked. Eh, and they don't do any research. They just agree with Democrats, and then they'll just look for a confirmation of what they say rather than research. And then you got right wingers who will idly sit by, many of them, while some of us will actually take action and speak out and do something about it. I mean, we're getting to the point where communism's going to be in full effect, because of what evil's doing right now and what the good isn't doing to fight it.
Yeah, we're definitely on a very slippery slope as far as where we're going. And look, you and I are in agreement where if Trump does something wrong, we're going to say it. And well, unfortunately for people who don't like him, he's on a really good track. Him personally and his immediate team are on a really
Yeah.
good track to make some lasting change. Some change that I feel may not be the most comfortable for us because we have to undo 60 years of bureaucracy. Okay.
Yup.
Well, we've got to the point where we either need to find what the problem is, figure out a proper solution to it, or we're done. And
Well,
we're going to end up like one of these, these countries that have been at war on their own soil. Because we're going to get to the point where we're so freaking weak, somebody will attempt to invade us. We have a geographical advantage, but we've also kind of pissed off Canada and Mexico lately. And I'm not saying that for the right price, they wouldn't do some dumb shit and let some people traipse on through their land.
well, thank goodness for our Second Amendment rights. So if they try that stunt to try and take over our country, ooh, what they're gonna have to do is work with other countries if they want to invade. Maybe then we could be overtaken for sure. But they'll have to wo- work with other countries that hate us and put aside their differences and invade us from the south and the north, basically. Although our Trump wants to make Canada a part of the United States, which wouldn't be a bad idea because then they'd be a constitutional republic and no longer under whatever Canada is these days. I say
A mess.
dictatorship.
They're a mess.
Okay, I like that.
Like me personally, I want nothing to do with Canada. Like, I don't like the people there. I don't like the way their government runs because their government runs the way it does because the people voted for that crap. Not to brush off all the people who are of sane mind, but also it's like you're dating a woman, her child is a brat, and then you go out and fill out the adoption papers. It's like, oh shit, now that thing's actually freaking my problem. No, Canada, you stay up there, you stay Canadian. Your beer is good. You suck at hockey. Yeah, I said it. Because we kicked the shit out of you for booing our national anthem, you sons of bitches. You messed around and you found out. Yeah, I watch hockey just to watch people kick the crap out of each other. It was so funny. But no, I'm not a fan of that. Like, I really don't think absorbing Canada into our way of life is a good thing. I like the fact that we're similar enough that we get along. But I also appreciate the differences. Like there's some cool cultural differences. And like real Canadians, not the people you see on the internet, not the people that you see on television. Like real Canadians, they're like Texans with snow gear. Like they are some badass sons of bitches. Like, and I don't want to. I feel like us trying to do that is like kind of infringing on their freedom, if you will. The one thing I would like to see is there is a very, very big gun community in Canada. Obviously, like nature wants to kill you there, so you kind of need to protect yourself. And I would love to see somebody go in there and say, "Hey, look, we need to figure out this gun thing," and that's on that level. Now, on a like a global level, Canada is not to be messed with. Like, they are the reason we have the Geneva Convention. Like, their military, very spicy. At least it was. I don't know what current leadership's doing, because obviously I don't follow every step of their leadership. But I'll tell you what, we have some international laws because Canada. But everybody wants to talk about how gruesome we are. No. Canada, I salute you and your war crimes because it had to be done.
Here's the last product of the night, and we may end up shortening this podcast because it's a nice day and well, people don't want to miss it. But look at this Pro Health Advanced Mouthwash Enamel Care. Now, doesn't that sound like, wow, what a great product?
That's the stuff I drink at work because they don't let me have beer. I'm kidding. I'm kidding, people. Don't drink mouthwash. It's not a good idea. I've never done it, but I've watched people who have done it, and let's just say their life is not optimal.
Yeah, well, maybe this is why. Oh, wow. Okay. Oh, wow. That
Quinn? Why
means
is it so small?
I don't know.
They make pills for
Oh,
that.
well, here we go. Here we go. If you can pronounce it. It's a little easier than the others.
I mean, I know what paraben is. I mean, it's wax, but what's the proper? It sounds like something the
Par-
Democrats put in our food, make us vote for them.
You mean like the Department of Indoctrination does?
I honestly, like, to this day, I am freaking shocked that I was somehow an honor student and realized that they were all full of shit. I think I just did it so they would leave me alone.
Same here, basically. Even though I annoyed the teachers when I would ask them everything to annoy them, but parabens are used as preservatives thanks to their antibacterial and antifungal properties. Proper paraben is believed to be an endocrine disruptor in rats. Effects have been observed on hormones and sperm activity. Oh boy. Sounds like they're trying to keep couples from having kids. Many people say, "Oh, oh, we can't. Oh, she can't have kids. It's physically impossible." Maybe these chemicals had something to do with it.
So I'm gonna start drinking this stuff. So it'll get me messed up, and I'll have minty fresh breath, and I don't have to worry about having children. Like, so for me, it's perfect. Sell, you don't even have to sell me on it. It's like, just I'm gonna go on Amazon right now. I'm gonna buy a case of it and just get like freaking hammered tomorrow and be like, yeah, I'm not having kids. But
Well, there's a little bit more. The substance may have effects on fertility and the development of the unborn children. The European Chemicals Agency has stated that risks to human health cannot be ruled out and that further studies are therefore required. The classification suspected of damaging fertility or the unborn child has been proposed and this is currently under review by the European Union. The substance can also be irritating to the eye, skin, and the respiratory system. Wow, and that's from mouthwash
well, I mean, it's
in
probably
the
a bad idea to have
European
it in your
Union.
lungs.
It, it may not be used in leave-on products applied to the buttocks of children under the age of 3. In nature, it could disrupt the endocrine system of animal species. For an example, effects have been observed in the laboratory on reproduction. So okay, so you're right. It's all reproduction issues on animals, humans. So it's like, I mean, maybe for you it wouldn't be a problem,
No,
but
so the irony of this is the people who have good teeth get laid, and the people who would generally want to have kids would have good teeth because they're getting laid. Uh, what is wrong with us as humans? To quote John Connor from Terminator 2, we're not going to make it, are we? Humans, that is.
well, with the way things are going, we'll end up killing us killing ourselves, basically, because people like there are too many people who are way too trusting, and especially to people with money and power. And I'm not one of them. I'm skeptical of everybody until they prove themselves to me in their actions. And yeah, I do watch very carefully, and I'm watching like even my own congressperson, Ryan McKenzie. I'm keeping a very close eye on him, very close eye, because I am not going to be screwed around. Because honestly, if I could have someone from the Constitution Party in Congress, I would much rather have them. But Maria Montero was the best choice because Ryan McKenzie, I was told, was a rhino in so many ways, and I would. So I'm keeping an eye just to see one rhino move, and we'll see what he does.
I
But
think
I will.
personally, across the board, a lot of our new blood in Washington, at least for the Republican Party, they're they're different. And I'm hoping that they stay different for the good. But I think the reason they got the votes was less because of their party affiliation and more so, excuse me, that they realized, okay, the voters are upset with this and they need us to do X, Y, and Z in order to be satisfied. So I don't know what, like Mackenzie, for example, I don't know what his overall career aspirations are as far as government. Like, is he going to want to move up to speaker? Is he going to want to eventually run for president? I don't know that, and I can't comment on that because I just don't know. But I like what you were saying, like, yeah, keep an eye on him. But I think there's going to be some interesting changes going on, at least in Washington, and hopefully within the next, this upcoming, midterm and the next 4 year cycle, and then the 6 year cycle after that, we're going to see some actual change because one of the things that people who are not Democrat, unfortunately, to name drop like that, we're patient. And at the same time, unfortunately, our patience is what allowed all this crap to happen in the first place. We're like, oh, okay, well, we'll just vote him out next time. And no,
Oh
like,
yes.
whereas the Democrats, they're out there, they're in the street. Like, every time I open up my phone, there's another freaking protest going on. Like, oh, Trump this, Elon that, Republicans suck. Like, all right, cool. Like, yeah, that's your constitutional right. Go do it. Like, just don't burn anything down. Don't hurt anybody. And, cool. Have your voice out there. But whereas, Republicans, either we don't do it or because we just don't want to, we're too lazy, or are we not doing it based out of fear because we have, what, 80% of the media is against anybody who thinks anything outside of left wing ideology. And we're just, no matter what we do, it's going to look bad. Like we could get 100,000 people together, go out, have a protest, nothing goes wrong, and then at the end of it, we drive around and find homeless people and feed them food truck food. And then some jerk off would complain like, oh, well, they were only serving tacos. And what if they didn't like tacos? What if that homeless person was vegan? That homeless person was fucking hungry. And we fed them. And somehow you figured out a way to rub dirt on it. And also, same thing. We as Republicans are very good at finding the negative in good things. Where we've talked so many times about John Fetterman. He has somehow become the voice of reason for the Democratic Party. Like, I really never thought the words would exit my face of, you guys should probably start listening to him. Because you guys put more effort into what you look like on a day-to-day basis, and this guy's actually out there spitting some truth. He's telling you why you lost. But yet somehow, he's a Trumper. The guy, oh my God, because he met with the incoming administration and said, "Hey, what can we do to work together so my constituents can get taken care of?" Personally, we're not getting into any of like the specific views, but I would like to see my Republican legislators do the same thing. Like if we have an incoming Democratic Party that's going to be at the executive branch, I want to know that my representation is doing what's best for me, including what are they going to do with the other party? What are they willing to talk about rather than just, no, you're the other side and you're bad. Go away. You scare me. You got cooties. Blah, blah, blah. Look, we've done that for freaking ever. The shit needs to stop. And, name call on TV all you want, but once you get into like your actual job, when you're back in DC and you guys are having your conversations about laws, like, dude, just reach across the aisle and say, hey, look, I know I talked a bunch of crap about you on television so I could get some Facebook likes. Shake their hand, introduce yourself, and say, look, I'm here to better the lives of my constituents, and I'm sure you're here to do the same. Can we work together to come up with some kind of agreement rather than all this clickbait, 10-second short bullshit that we've been putting out there in media, and actually do something that benefits the people? Because I don't care if Ryan McKenzie says every Democrat is a lunatic. I know that. I'm aware. I've had a heartbeat and a somewhat functioning brain for the last, 20 years of my adult life.
Probably due to all the poisons.
I don't need you to tell me that they're off their rocker. I freaking see it, okay? Now, what you need to do is get your freaking job done. And if that involves you going over on the other side of the aisle and saying, hey, how about after we get out of this session tonight, let's have dinner, let's get coffee, a big group of us, and let's just talk about, okay, your constituent they need this done. All right, mine need this done. All right, yours need that done. Yours need that done. Perfect. All right, let's write all this shit down. Let's get back to work at 8 o'clock in the morning and figure out something that's going to actually benefit people. Because until we do that, it's just going to be this back and forth nonsense that we've had. It's like, oh, well, lesser of two evil. Well, all right. Well, be better than both. All right. Be somewhat. Like, all we're doing is voting for dog shit year after year after year. Which means the bar is very low. Like, you could come in as like a McDonald's dollar cheeseburger. Like you're already above dog shit. I'm ranting. It was one of those weeks. I know it's only Tuesday.
No, you're good. And so, Kennedy Jr., we are supporting you right now. And please don't let the red number 3 be the only poison you ban. Ban them all. And let like a lot of countries do, especially the European countries. Let's make food again. Let's make hygiene products actually work for the people and not the dentists and the billionaires who want to save a buck. Let's make it all. Let's do it all. Like, let's take out all the poisons out of the food, water, hygiene, whatever. Because we don't need chemicals, especially when it's going against we the people.
So he had said, like, in one of those sound bites when I was driving, he said, look, we're going to identify the problems and we're going to give you the opportunity to the companies. Like, we're going to give you the opportunity to work with us. And if you decide that you're not going to, then we're going to change it through changing the rules at the FDA. Like, I don't know how much more for the people you can be on that. Like, you're not going in there and telling a company, F you can't do this. They're just saying, look, can you work with us? Because we're going to put out the ingredients list, and we're going to tell everybody why it's bad. Now it's up to you to either willingly change it, or we're going to ban it. And we're going to do it by law. Like, they're going to do everything 100% by the book. All the laws that were passed that allow you to use this poison in our food, in our cosmetics, and our hygiene products, and every other facet of our life, we're going to undo it. That's what we're going to do. And he clearly stated it and how he's going to do it. Because obviously they were perfectly okay with catering to, the European Union's rules. So why can't we have something similar here? Why do we have to be the fat, stupid people of the world when we could realistically be the healthiest nation on earth and just stop being a bunch of greedy bastards and give us the good stuff?
Yup. All right. Well, we're going to end this a little early because it's a beautiful day, and I gave my final thoughts. Was that your final thoughts, or you have any?
I'm gonna go with yes, because if not, I'm just gonna rant on another topic for 10 minutes, and I apologize for. This is gonna be my final thought. I do apologize for anybody who watches this and just thinks I'm just some unhinged redneck. You're not far off. Honestly, there's just if you've watched before, Quinn will vouch for me. We've gotten to the point where we understand that there are a lot of very, very serious problems that nobody wants to touch the meat and potatoes of the actual problem. The headlight thing on the car, or, cars are rusted out, piece of crap, doesn't move. It's got no doors, but you know what? It's got new rims on it. So guess what? I'm going to pretend I'm government and say I did something good. I don't remember what the little fat kid from The Simpsons was, but it seems like every time something gets passed, it's always, I'm helping. And are you? No, you just put your little tally mark up, your little feather in your cap, and you say you got something passed. And honestly, at the end of the day, the only people that get anything good out of it is, well, corporations, the people who passed it, donors, whatever. And who gets screwed? Me, you, hey. So yeah, you can just wait to just keep voting your single party, and I'm going to vote red, I'm going to vote blue, and just hope things change for the better. Or you can go out there and push your current politicians and say, hey, if you don't do X, Y, and Z, you don't have my vote next cycle. Or better yet, how about you get off your little asses and go run for office if you can do it better? I mean, last I checked, we have the ability to vote for people. And in order to have people to vote for, people need to do this thing called stand up and run for office. So run for school board, run for town council, run for city council, run for senator. Like, do something. Don't just sit in your armchair and bitch about it. Exactly. Go freaking do something about it. And, then maybe at least you can say, oh, wow. Now I understand why politics is so messed up, because now you're in it. And now you understand why things haven't changed. So it's either going to do one of two things to you. It's going to piss you off, which it should, or it's going to motivate you to work harder, to either pushing your current elected officials, or it's going to push you harder to run and get elected and get your voice out there. Now, I'm going to end this because I'm about to start dropping F words like they're commas, because that's where my brain is at. And this is a family environment, and I try to keep it PG-13. I try to keep it, one F-bomb per episode.
Much appreciated.
I just so you know, I only do it for you because you asked nicely.
Nice. Even though I never asked, though, but it's still nice to know that you do it for me.
It was implied, and I respect it. And if it were my show, I would say, Quinn, I need you to say swear words, whether you think they're needed or not. Just say random swear words like you have Tourette's.
Well, everyone, we're gonna end it right here. We'll see you next week, and hasta la vista.
Love you guys. See you next week.